It was an ordinary morning. The school building stood quiet under a pale blue sky. Classrooms were full of tired students, half listening to lessons they had heard 100 times before. Pens scratched on paper. Chairs creaked. A teacher spoke about history, using the same calm voice as always. In the back row, a human girl sat silently. She was not special, not loud, not strong. Just a normal student, wearing a green jacket, hair tied back, eyes calm. She listened, but she also watched. She always watched. Outside, the wind stopped. The sunlight dimmed, as if someone had slowly turned down the brightness of the world. Shadows stretched across the classroom walls. A few students looked toward the windows. Then the ground shook. At first, it felt like a passing truck. Then it came again, stronger. Desks rattled. Dust fell from the ceiling. The teacher stopped speaking. "What was that?" someone whispered. Before anyone could answer, the sky cracked open. A deep, heavy sound rolled over the school like thunder, but it was not thunder. It was mechanical. Cold. Wrong. Through the classroom window, massive dark shapes appeared in the sky. Ships, huge and sharp, blocking out the sun. Students screamed. The alarm did not ring. There was no warning, just fear. The first explosion hit the far side of the building. Walls burst inward. Glass shattered across the floor like ice. Smoke rushed into the hallway. The school shook as if it were made of paper. The human girl stood up, not to run, not to scream, to see. Heavy footsteps echoed through the hallway. Metal boots. Slow, confident. Something slammed into the classroom door, bending it inward. Another hit broke it completely. Alien soldiers entered. They were tall, covered in dark armor, their faces hidden behind glowing visors. Their weapons hummed softly, full of power. They moved like machines, perfect lines, perfect timing. To them, this was easy. Humans located. One alien said in a cold, strange voice. No resistance expected. The students froze. Some cried. Others hid under desks. The teacher backed away, hands raised, shaking. The aliens laughed. "This species shows fear immediately," another alien said. "Primitive." One soldier lifted his weapon and fired into the ceiling. Dust and debris fell. The sound was deafening. The message was clear. Obey. The human girl did not move. She slowly lowered herself back into her chair, heart pounding but face steady. Her eyes moved from one alien to another. She noticed how they stood, how they relied on clear space, how their armor was heavy, how their weapons needed line of sight. They did not look at the small details. They did not look at her. The alien commander stepped forward. "You will sit. You will be silent. You belong to us now." Fear filled the room like smoke. The girl's mind raced. She remembered fire drills, emergency lessons, stories of survival. One simple truth echoed in her thoughts. Humans survive by thinking. Another explosion rocked the building. Screams echoed from other classrooms. This was not just an attack. This was an invasion. The girl slowly reached into her bag. An alien noticed movement and raised his weapon. "Stop." She froze, hands visible. Inside her bag were notebooks, pens, a water bottle, and something red and heavy, the fire extinguisher near her desk, pulled earlier during cleaning and never returned. The alien lowered his weapon, bored. "She is harmless." That was their first mistake. Suddenly, the power went out. Lights died. The classroom fell into shadow. Emergency lights flickered weakly. Confused alien voices filled the room. "What happened?" "Restore systems." The girl moved. She grabbed the fire extinguisher and rolled behind a desk. She did not attack. She did not scream. She waited. An alien stepped forward, visor glowing brighter. He could not see well in the dust-filled air. His system struggled with human-built structures. The fire alarm blared. A loud, sharp sound echoed through the halls. Red lights flashed. Noise bounced off the walls, confusing the alien sensors. Panic spread among the soldiers. "This environment is unstable," one said. Desks were pushed over. Chairs scraped across the floor. Students crawled toward exits, following the girl's earlier signals, small hand movements, quiet directions. She was leading without speaking. The alien commander realized something was wrong. "This is not normal human behavior," he said. "Find the source." Too late. A loud crash came from the hallway as another alien squad collided with debris. Their perfect formation broke. Confusion spread like fire. The girl looked once more at the aliens. She was afraid, very afraid, but fear did not control her. Thinking did. As smoke thickened and alarm screamed, the alien commander raised his weapon toward the class. "Enough," he said. "Eliminate resistance." The girl tightened her grip on the extinguisher. The sky had broken, and something inside humanity had just awakened. The alarm screamed through the school. Red lights flashed again and again, painting the walls like a warning heartbeat. Smoke drifted low across the floor. The alien soldiers shouted to each other, their voices sharp and confused. Their calm control was gone. The human girl stayed low behind the desk. Her hands shook, but her mind stayed clear. She forced herself to breathe slowly. In, out. Panic wastes time. Panic gets people killed. She had learned that from drills, from stories, from watching adults fail when fear took over. She would not panic. Across the room, one alien stepped forward, scanning the shadows. His visor flickered, trying to adjust the noise and flashing lights. His weapon tracked movement that was not there. "This environment is chaotic," he said. "Human structures are inefficient." Another alien replied, "Their fear response is irregular." The girl noticed that word, irregular. They did not understand humans. They expected screaming crowds and frozen bodies. They did not expect quiet movement. They did not expect thinking. She lifted her head slightly and looked around. 2 students were frozen under a desk near the wall. One was crying, hands over her ears. A teacher was pressed against the back wall, eyes wide, unable to move. The girl made a choice. She tapped the desk softly. 3 quick sounds. The students looked up. She pointed toward the broken doorway and then held up one finger. "Wait." They nodded. The alien commander stepped closer to the center of the room. His armor was heavier than the others. His movements slower, but stronger. His voice carried authority. "Humans," he said loudly, "you are surrounded. Remain still." No one answered. The girl rolled the fire extinguisher slowly across the floor, letting it bump into a chair leg. The metal sound echoed. The aliens turned toward the noise. That was enough. The girl pulled the extinguisher pin and pressed the handle. A loud burst exploded from the nozzle. White powder filled the air, thick and blinding. It covered the floor, the desks, the aliens' armor. Their visors flashed with warning symbols. Visual systems compromised. "Clear the area." The girl moved fast. She waved students forward, guiding them low to the ground. One by one, they crawled toward the door. She stayed behind, counting steps, watching alien positions, using desks as cover. She did not fight them. She outthought them. An alien fired blindly. The shot missed, hitting a wall. The building shook again. Ceiling tiles fell. Dust mixed with the powder, turning the room into a white fog. The commander roared, angry now. This should not be happening. He was right. This mission was supposed to be simple. Capture, control, leave. Humans were weak. Humans were slow. Humans were predictable. But this one was not. The girl reached the hallway. It was worse outside. The corridor was half destroyed. Lockers were crushed. Glass crunched under her shoes. Smoke filled the air. Alien soldiers moved in tight groups, blocking exits, forcing people back. She stopped. Running blindly would get everyone caught. She watched again. Aliens moved in straight lines. They relied on clear paths. They hated tight spaces. Their armor scraped walls. Their weapons were large, hard to aim in close halls. The school was old, narrow, full of corners. The girl turned and quietly pulled open a classroom door. Inside, the room was dark but intact. She guided the students in and closed the door slowly. She stacked chairs behind it, not to stop the aliens, just to slow them. She grabbed a marker from the board and quickly wrote 3 words on the white surface. "Do not run." She pointed to the back windows. They were small but breakable. Below them was a lower roof. One by one, students climbed through. The girl stayed last. Heavy footsteps approached. Alien voices grew louder. Movement detected. The door shook as something hit it from the outside. The teacher whispered, "What do we do?" The girl looked at him. "We wait 5 seconds," she said softly. The door burst inward. Aliens flooded the room. Too late. The girl smashed the window with a chair. Glass shattered outward. She jumped, landing hard but rolling like she had seen in videos. Pain shot through her leg, but she stood. Behind her, aliens tried to follow. One slipped on broken glass. Another got stuck halfway through, armor scraping loudly. "This structure is not designed for us," one shouted. "Exactly." The girl led the group across the roof and down a fire escape ladder. Alarm still screamed. Smoke rose into the sky. Above them, alien ships hovered, confused by signals they could not read. Inside the school, the alien commander watched the chaos on his display. Loss of control, broken units, delayed capture, all because of one human child. "This species adapts too quickly," he said darkly. Below, the girl disappeared into the shadows of the schoolyard, heart racing, mind already planning the next move. She did not know how to stop an alien army, but she knew how to survive, and sometimes that was enough. The schoolyard was no longer a safe place. Smoke rolled across the ground like dark fog. Pieces of broken walls and metal lay scattered everywhere. Above, alien ships hovered low, their engines humming like angry beasts. Blue searchlights moved slowly across the yard, scanning for movement. The human girl crouched behind a fallen statue. Her leg hurt from the jump, but she did not stop. Pain was just another signal. It meant she was still alive. Around her, students hid behind benches, trees, and broken playground equipment. Some cried quietly. Others stared at the sky, frozen in fear. The girl raised her hand. Everyone went silent. She pointed toward the gym building on the far side of the yard. Its roof was damaged, one side half collapsed. Smoke poured from the open doors. A dangerous place. A useful place. Aliens preferred open ground. Clear lines. Easy control. The gym was tight, loud, and full of echoes. Perfect. She moved first, limping but steady. The others followed, keeping low. Every few seconds, she looked back, counting heads. No one left behind. A bright beam swept across the yard. Targets detected. An alien voice echoed from above. A blast struck the ground nearby, sending dirt flying. Students screamed. "Move!" the girl shouted. They ran. The gym doors slammed shut behind them. Darkness swallowed the group, broken only by emergency lights flickering weakly. The air smelled of smoke and rubber. Inside, the space was huge but cluttered. Bleachers lay overturned. Sports equipment was scattered everywhere. Nets hung loose from the ceiling. The girl's eyes moved fast. She grabbed a whistle from the floor and blew it once. Sharp, loud. Then she threw it across the gym. Aliens burst through the door seconds later, weapons raised. "There!" one shouted, aiming toward the sound. They fired. Shots tore through empty air. The girl was already climbing the bleachers, pulling students up with her. She kicked the ball rack loose. Dozens of balls rolled across the floor, hitting alien legs, making them stumble. "This terrain is unstable," an alien yelled. Another tried to fire but slipped, crashing into a bench. His weapon clattered away. The girl grabbed a rope hanging from the ceiling and tied it quickly across an aisle. She had seen this trick in movies. She hoped it would work. It did. 2 aliens rushed forward and fell hard, armor crashing against the floor. Their heavy suits worked against them. Humans were light, fast, messy. The alien commander's voice echoed through their helmets. "Stop chasing. Regroup." But it was already too late. The gym was chaos. The girl guided the students toward a side exit that led into storage rooms. Narrow halls, low ceilings, tight turns. Aliens hated this. Their armor scraped walls. Their weapons hit door frames. Their formations broke again and again. One alien grabbed a student's arm. The girl reacted without thinking. She slammed a locker door into the alien's helmet. The metal bent. The alien staggered back, shocked. Human strength detected, he said, confused. It was not strength. It was timing. The group burst into the pool area. Water sloshed onto the floor, making everything slick. Steam rose where alien boots touched wet tiles. "Why is everything wet?" one alien shouted. The girl smiled briefly. Aliens moved carefully now, slow and unsure. Humans moved like water, slipping, sliding, adapting. The girl pulled a lever. The pool lights went out. Darkness. Then emergency lights came on, dim and red. Aliens froze. Their vision systems struggled again. She did not wait. She led the students through another door, into the maintenance tunnels beneath the school. Pipes hissed. Water dripped. The sound covered their movement. Above them, the alien commander watched feeds fail one by one. "Explain," he demanded. A soldier replied, voice tense. "The human uses environment manipulation, low-level tools, no advanced weapons." Silence followed. Then the commander spoke slowly. "This is not random. This is strategy." Below, the girl stopped at a junction. She listened. Alien voices echoed from one tunnel. She chose the other. Soon, the tunnel opened near the main office. Through a cracked wall, she saw something important. A human military drone lay broken on the floor, its signal light still blinking. "Hope." She waved students behind a desk and crawled to the drone. She pressed buttons, guessing, trying. Nothing happened. Footsteps approached. Aliens were close. The girl took a deep breath and did something risky. She stood up. She threw a chair across the room. Aliens fired at the noise. She dove back, grabbed the drone, and slammed it against the floor. Sparks flew. The signal light turned solid green. Outside the school, human radar screens lit up. Signal found. Inside, the alien commander stiffened. "What is that transmission?" he demanded. Before anyone could answer, a human voice crackled through the school speakers. "This is Earth Defense. We see you." The aliens froze. The girl leaned against the wall, breathing hard. She had not defeated the alien army. Not yet, but she had changed the fight. And in war, that was everything. The sound of the human voice echoed through the broken school. "This is Earth Defense. We see you." For the first time since the invasion began, the alien soldiers hesitated. Inside the command ship above the school, alarms flashed in sharp colors. Data screens filled with unknown symbols. Human signals spread across their systems like noise they could not silence. The alien commander stood still. "This world should not have responded so quickly," he said. "Humans are not supposed to coordinate under pressure." Below, in the dark hallway near the main office, the human girl slid down against the wall. Her chest rose and fell fast. Her hands shook now that she had a moment to stop. She wiped dust from her face and stood again. Rest could wait. Around her, students whispered in fear. Some looked at her like she was something new, something strong. She did not like that look. She was still just a student, still scared. But fear no longer owned the room. The girl peeked around the corner. Alien soldiers moved carefully now. No more laughing. No more careless steps. Their weapons stayed raised. Their voices were sharp and tense. "Command! We have confirmation," one said. "Human forces are aware." "Capture the human responsible," the commander replied. "Alive." That order changed everything. Aliens no longer fired wildly. They advanced slowly, blocking exits instead of destroying them. They wanted her. The girl realized this quickly. "They are hunting," she whispered. She pointed toward a side stairwell. "We split." The teacher shook his head. "No, we stay together." The girl met his eyes. "They will catch us all." Silence. Then the teacher nodded. The group split into smaller teams. The girl led one group down the stairwell. The steps creaked loudly under alien weight above. Dust fell like snow. She moved faster. The stairwell opened into the science wing. Broken glass covered the floor. Chemical smells hung in the air. Her eyes lit up. She grabbed safety goggles from a cabinet and handed them out. "Put these on." She tipped over carts, spilling liquids that smoked when they touched the floor. She did not mix blindly. She remembered basic rules. Simple reactions. Nothing deadly, just confusing. Aliens entered the wing. Sensors screamed warnings. Unknown substances detected. The floor became slick. Steam filled the hallway. Visors blurred. Alien voices rose in panic. "This building is a trap." No, it was a school, and schools were built by humans. The girl pulled a fire door shut and jammed it with a metal pole. It would not hold long, but time was all she needed. She led her group through a lab and out a broken window onto a narrow ledge. Wind hit their faces hard. Below them was a drop into the courtyard. Too high. Behind them, metal slammed against the door. No choice. The girl took a rope from a storage rack and tied it fast. "I go first," she said. She slid down, burning her hands, landing hard but standing. She waved up. One by one, the others followed. Alien fire tore through the window. The rope snapped halfway through. The last student jumped. The girl caught him, both falling to the ground. They rolled behind a concrete block as blasts hit nearby. Above them, the alien commander watched in anger. "Why does one human delay an army?" he demanded. A soldier answered carefully. "Because she does not fight us directly." The commander understood. This was not battle. This was survival warfare. He made a decision. Deploy capture units only. Restrict fire. We take the human. That was his second mistake. By limiting fire, he gave human space. The girl heard the change immediately. Fewer shots, more movement, more caution. She smiled once. They were learning. But learning takes time. Human drones buzzed overhead now. Small, fast, hard to track. They mapped alien positions and fed data back. The girl saw one flash green above her. She raised her hand. The drone dipped, scanning her face. Civilian identified. A human voice said through her earpiece, "Stay where you are." She shook her head. "No," she whispered. "I'm not done." She pointed toward the gym building and drew a quick shape in the dust. Entrances, alien paths, blind spots. The drone paused. Then the voice returned. "Understood." Alien soldiers closed in. The girl led her group into the cafeteria. Long tables, slippery floors, food trays scattered everywhere. She tipped over a drink machine. Liquid spread fast. Aliens rushed in and slipped again. "This is unacceptable," one shouted. She pulled a curtain, dropping it on two soldiers. They fell hard, tangled. The alien commander's patience broke. "Enough," he said. "Seal the building. No human escapes." Outside, alien ships moved to block exits. Inside, human soldiers arrived at the perimeter. The battlefield formed. In the center of it all, the girl crouched under a table, breathing hard, mind racing. She had done what she could. She had slowed them. She had shown them something dangerous. Humans did not need to be stronger. They just needed to be smarter. As alien boots closed in, the sound of human weapons echoed from outside. The war had arrived, and it started in a school. The school was silent again. Smoke slowly faded into the air. Broken walls stood open to the sky. Glass covered the floors like frozen rain. Human soldiers moved carefully through the building, checking every room, every corner. The invasion was over. The human girl sat on the steps outside the school, wrapped in a blanket. A medic cleaned the cuts on her hands. She barely noticed. Her eyes were fixed on the sky, where alien ships had once hovered. Now there was nothing. A human officer approached her slowly. He did not shout. He did not rush. "You did good," he said. The girl shook her head. "I just didn't want anyone to die." The officer paused. Then he nodded. "That's why you did good." Around them, students reunited with parents. Some cried. Some laughed from shock. The school that had once been boring and Loud would never be the same again. Inside a human command center far away, officers studied battle recordings. Screens showed shaky footage of hallways, classrooms, and one small figure moving through chaos. This was not trained combat, one officer said. No, another replied. This was instinct. On a distant alien world, the surviving alien commander stood before his leaders. His armor was damaged. His voice was quiet. We underestimated them, he said. The leaders watched recordings from the invasion. They saw a human girl using doors, lights, noise, and simple objects to break elite alien units. This is unacceptable, one leader hissed. She is a child. That is the problem, the commander replied. Their children adapt. Silence filled the chamber. They do not rely on strength, he continued. They rely on thinking under fear. Their environments are weapons. Their weakness is an illusion. One leader leaned forward. What do you recommend? The commander took a breath. Avoid direct conflict. Humans do not fight wars the same way twice. Back on Earth, news spread fast. School survives alien attack. Students escape against all odds. They did not name the girl at first. She did not want that. She returned home, quiet again, sitting in her room like nothing had changed. But something had. At night, she dreamed of alarms and flashing lights, of running hallways, of choices made in seconds. She woke up shaking. Her parents sat with her until morning. You were brave, her mother said. The girl shook her head. I was scared. Her father smiled gently. Brave people always are. Weeks later, the school reopened. Some walls were new. Some marks stayed on purpose. A reminder. The girl walked into her classroom and sat in the same seat as before. The desk was replaced. The window repaired. Everything looked normal, but the feeling was different. Students watched her. Teachers spoke her name softly. She did not like it. She opened her notebook and stared at the page. Life moved on, across the galaxy. However, it did not. Alien fleets changed their routes. Invasion plans were delayed. New rules were written into alien strategy books. One rule stood out. Never assume a human is harmless. The classroom footage was shown in alien academies. Officers studied it carefully. How did she win? One cadet asked. The instructor answered slowly. She did not win. She survived. That was enough. On Earth, human leaders prepared quietly, not with pride, with respect. They learned from the girl. 2. Urban training changed. Schools added new safety designs. Humans adapted, as they always did. The girl grew older. She never joined the military, never sought power. She became a teacher. Years later, she stood at the front of the classroom, facing a new generation of students. She smiled. Today, she said, we learn problem solving. A student raised a hand. Why is that important? She paused, remembering alarms, smoke, and fear. Because, she said simply, you never know when thinking will save your life. Far beyond Earth, an alien ship passed through a quiet star system. Its captain studied a small blue planet on his screen. Is that the human world? He asked. Yes, his navigator replied. The captain nodded slowly. Change course. No fear, just respect. Back in the classroom, sunlight streamed through clean windows. Students laughed. Pages turned. Life continued. The universe had learned something important that day. Humans were not the strongest. They were not the fastest. But when the sky breaks and order fails, humans do something dangerous. They think, and sometimes that is enough to change the fate of the galaxy. The end.